Lord, we ask for your blessing and wisdom upon this parliament. Direct and prosper our proceedings to the peace and welfare of the people of Solomon Islands. We ask this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Parliament is resumed.
Presentation of papers and reports. The following papers have been tabled by the Prime Minister. 1. The Solomon Islands Gazettes and Supplements from April to June 2025. Gazettes Volume 1, Number 2 of 4, and Supplements Volume 2, Number 2 of 4, combined editions. National Parliament Paper Number 18 of 2025. 2. The Solomon Islands Gazettes from July to September 2025, Volume 1, Number 3 of 4, National Parliament Paper Number 19 of 2025. And thirdly, the supplements to Solomon Islands Gazettes from July to September 2025, Volume 2, Number 3 of 4, National Parliament Paper Number 20 of 2025. Statement of Government Business for the week ending Friday, 12 December 2025.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Statement of Government Business for the week ending Friday, 12 December 2025. Monday, 8th December 2025. Bills Committee of Supply. The 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Committee of Supply resumes and continues. Motion of adjournment. Tuesday, 9th December 2025. Bills Committee of Supply. The 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Committee of Supply continues and concludes. Bills third reading, the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Motion of adjournment. Wednesday, 10th December 2025, motion of Sine Die by the Honourable Prime Minister that at the adjournment of Parliament on Wednesday, 17th December 2025, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned Sine Die. Motion of adjournment. Thursday, 11th December 2025, motion of Sine Die, debate commences. Motion of adjournment. Friday, 12 December 2025, motion of adjournment.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Let us move on to our next item of business, please.
Bills Committee of Supply, the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025.
Honourable members, the House will now resolve into the Committee of Supply to continue consideration of the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Thank you, honourable members. We are now in the Committee of Supply to consider the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Again, we will first consider the schedules head by head before we consider each clause of the bill. But before we proceed, for efficiency of the proceedings, allow me to once again draw the attention of the committee to the rationale of the rules governing the debate at the Committee of Supply. This is clearly stated in Standing Order 64.3. Please make sure you survey our Standing Order. Simply put, honourable members, the debate must focus only on the policy aspects of the proposed funds and so on, for which that service is responsible. When the discussions are on the details of any item or subhead, it encroaches on the operation or administrative aspects of the funds for which ministry officials are responsible and for which these were already addressed during the consideration of the budget at the Parliamentary Accounts Committee. This process is captured again in the Public Accounts Committee hearing for and on behalf of Parliament, and therefore presumably captures all the administrative and operational aspect of the budget. The PAC report therefore should draw the attention of the House, especially the Committee of Supply, to the policy rationale for the proposed spending. That should be the focus of the discussions in the Committee of Supply. Note, not the administrative or operational aspects of the proposed spending. I hope that is clear, and that is how we will proceed for the remaining allotted days of the Committee of Supply, today, Monday, and Tuesday. We will now continue where we left off yesterday. Yesterday we were left off partly on the head 05, Ministry of Education and Human Resources Development, as was proposed yesterday, that the sum of $1,318,813,537 for head 05 stand part of the schedule. And again, I've already put the question, but the PAC's findings and recommendations of the head are on pages 36 to 41 of the PAC's report on this bill. And therefore, as I have just alluded to earlier, we'll go page by page of the PAC report, please. So we'll continue from there, and I'll ask if there are any further comments based on this. We'll go by page before I put the question. Thank you. Any complaints? Oh, sorry, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Oui, Mr. Chairman. Nimla. No, long page 80, 81, low break, recurrent break. I'm just wondering, any other charges, or is that covered under law somewhere else, or headquarter, or some clarity? Thank you.
Thank you. Please, can you state where that relates to in the report of PAC?
Full report, not related.
No, I want a specific provision in the PAC report that makes reference to what you want to bring.
Yeah, what kind of page you tell them? Lo PAC report ba?
Page 36 to 37.
And what page is it?
Paragraph
3. I think 3.5. Or?
Thank you. So, Minister?
Sorry.
He didn't get...
Just a clarification, law, other charges, law, school services secondary and school services primary. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Leader. I guess you refer law under the primary education service, yeah? The grants, yeah? Is it the education grant for the other charges? Basic education grant?
Law pages 80 and 81, yes. Law break.
Yes, you, Leader. That, according to other charges, that's the senior and primary education grant where you pay more the schools, yeah. You give more schools, no secondary and primary education. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so side law grants. I mean, I'm not listed here, but I'm not under law more. Time we come law grants, but over the units here. I mean, in the establishment they have Paefala, lo secondary, and then Tufal lo primary. I mean, what do they do? Where is the money to support their work?
Thank you, Honourable Minister. We will respond to that, although the leader of opposition is not adhering to the instructions I gave out earlier. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, under law this one, under law head office here, so have come under schools inside law made office. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Any further comments, Honourable
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maybe you need to clarify more your instructions for Lomival. You actually timed down the smooth progress of the work little committee now. So, which report number will you look at? The Public Accounts Committee report?
the Public Accounts Committee report.
But that one will look at?
That's right.
Not this one?
No.
Not the breaks?
Don't record the
Well,
breaks.
this is the first. Sorry, Mr.
Yeah.
But with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, this will be the first time I've been also with you and I have been, this is my 28 years now in Parliament, Mr. Chairman, and this will be the first time that will happen. So we are caught now, Mr. Chairman, so we might as well abolish him no as well. The committee, because as we say, during our days, I don't know where you're Permanent Secretary as well, when I was Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Finance, Mr. Chairman, well, actually, if we dwell on this report, then the government can be obliged to respond to every recommendation in detail in another volume, so that they come start with him. Well, and we dispense with this committee now, because even dwell on more recommendations here. But if you're not allowed to raise questions on question policy, so that's what we need to do, Mr. Chairman. We ask policy questions on question time and ask him what for government to respond. But we respect you're the boss, Mr. Chairman. We cannot argue. If you make a decision, then of course our hands are tied now by the smooth progress of this committee by having what's affected now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Just a view expressing calmly, because we have been in this house for more than cost of 28 years now.
Thank you, MP for his choice. I was making reference to if someone can tell me what the interpretation of Standing Order 64.3. Thank you.
Me no here for awesome help this one, but my reading was 64 have different from what where you instruct him.
Okay, tell us what it means.
64.1.
No, 64.3.
64.3.
Yep.
So this is referring to law reading below me. His reading is referring to all get schedules here and all get a schedule of budget. Inside law this report here, there are no schedules, so you refer to him here. I may look him also a little bit different, and I concur with him when I'm his choice. So let me tell him this is the first time we buy me.
What we are going through is a schedule to the appropriation.
I'm not meaning more the bricks here. So,
The schedule's in the bill.
Mr. Chairman, what I'm saying is, you mean by approval or something here, yeah? So we cannot use him this one for him approval. This one a committee, I mean, otherwise there's no need for the committee of supply.
So what we're saying, Honourable MP for Small Malaita, is that if we do as interpretation 64.3, which means that we are exactly repeating what we already went through in the committee of, in the Public Accounts Committee, correct?
Chairman, law proceedings law or the PAC when we sit down law him. We will not go schedule by schedule, head by head. But I think inside long this one year, him ask him for committee, him go head by head, yeah. Law proceedings law PAC, yeah. Stuck a policy something and also, but suppose you may go law instruction below you, Chairman, law didn't blow me. I see no relevance longo you may use him for wasn't approve him or what amount say because you are asking us to use the PAC report for the purposes of Committee of Supply.
Thank you. So what's the purpose of the PAC report?
Chairman,
They see if we take that line, and we can take that line, then it would have been better. The PAC had done an even more detailed scrutiny, which it did not do because of time constraint. So PAC did not go line by line or subhead by subhead. It looked at the big major issues, Lord, sectors where ministries represent him, and therefore you will see in the report is very summary kind of format report. I'm not capturing every something because I'm follow no more the major questions. So also East Choice or let me tell him you me too together lo this one. Time you long leader of opposition, you go ahead lo this one too. I think we need to give it a liberal interpretation, and you me embracing this process. You may know worry too much. Education is the largest one, 1.3 billion. So obviously it will take a little bit. Once we clear that, and health, the rest by flow through no more. By look no Monday, you may finish the whole thing, you know. So you know worry too much. And you know, when we say, you know, Lomo 64.3 order 64.3 talk about the policy. Of course, policy does involve what enables policy, the adequacy of allocations to enable policy to be delivered in a meaningful way, and not just at the general level, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Contributes to it. So I think a liberal interpretation will allow us to proceed.
All right. Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition. Perhaps I would also give the chance for the interpretation of this standing order to the Attorney General. But let me just repeat here, if you could look at the last line of the order, that any such debates shall be confined to the policy of the service for which the money is to be provided and shall not deal with the details of any item or subhead, but may be referred to the detail of revenue or funds for which that service is responsible. That last line. Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for important, especially like raising, I think, the practice in the past now. And I think one thing for him, now, because it's what now you mean like for accident, because of course give me information to our people in terms of our debate and question and clarify. But for him, changing the bill, that's one of the concerns probably we look at going forward, because no matter you meet that name, but no affecting billion, the figures remain the same, and then you pass. So I think that's one area for him to look at. But I think probably the process for improvement, there's a need for that one, because it seems that you may repeating the process no more, especially from the PAC and then debate and then come to committee, and so I think for you may accept him the kind of recommendation or suggestion and then reflect law bill now, maybe something you may probably look for him, and that probably in the next or the following budget that to look plan. And that probably in terms of government response law recommendation, yeah, it's maybe good for tabling the report of it too, so that rather than in me raise income issue, let's do it in a way that the government is seriously taking the recommendation for some part of implementation too. That's my suggestion. But I think for now, in fact, the former minister, especially the MP for East Choice, we already discussed that probably the BRICS should not present that law here no more, because it should be the bill no more that him should look. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East.
Mr. Chairman, I think the discussion will go along that line, I think, and as you know, I've written to you as well, to Mr. Chairman, when I was a minister, sharing this kind of thing, Mr. Chairman. In fact, people come watching me, what I'm doing with this parliament, all about surprise, what I'm doing, even go page by page as well. We should really not be doing that. In some other parliaments, it's just basically, or the committee, I don't know how they do it. That's why we're asking for a study tour for comprised of the Prime Minister's Office, Parliament, and the Ministry of Finance for go down on New South Wales Parliament for looking what not doing. Because it's the very same Parliament, look at the individuals, come level looking maybe, one time we did budget then, of a surprise. We are not doing that. So you're correcting probably the way you see things like here. But you've been doing come now, so we got caught. So as I said, this committee really even need him. And as I say, if maybe the Public Accounts Committee now should meet for 4 weeks or something also, in detail now. Then the report blog at no more, and come. Then you can vote no more for head, yeah? We are not for discussing when you come you vote in head. So all the work really should be done by the Public Accounts Committee. That's the reason why we asked for that serious reform. But then we go say no happen and so on. But we appreciate your ruling, Mr. Chairman. You're on the right track there. Even when you look at maybe 2027, this committee should not exist. And we amend the standing order so that budget should first be debating and debating the report and finish. You may pass it. So we appreciate your ruling and the concerns you raise here, and what the Minister of Finance is in line with the thinking that we all already got and finished, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Member for East Coast. Honourable Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think basically strict interpretation below what 64.3 Putum is basically, firstly, as you correctly stated, the debate when we enter into debate inside the committee supply stage, the debate is strictly limited only to the policy of that particular service for which the money is provided, and general discussion of revenue or funding responsibilities of that particular service. So it basically head. Debate in strict sense should not cover detailed line items or sub items of expenditure. Why this is the rationale behind Law Hemiana is that we don't want Parliament to be bogged down in the accounting on the floor of Parliament. So that's basically why they put that rule as it is. So basically what 64 himself says is in practice, it says that when you, Chairman, you put him come, you say, you debate him, the head by you call from that the sum of, you say, head X or Y stands part of the schedule. You may go for approving that entire allocation for that. Okay, so when we go to go for that, that's why Putum say you may go for policy and whether that allocation is enough to sufficiently supply for that service in say. Okay, so when members speak, when that question is put, as you stated, scope is narrowly restricted, as they may only discuss government policy objectives behind that service, overall performance of that ministry or sector, whether funding level is adequate or appropriate, and broad issues on how that service functions or is financed. As you stated earlier on, we may not, so we should not basically examine individual budget items, argue over specific subheads or line item spending, or demand explanations for precise operational costs. These details are at the standing orders deal with Team 2 and other rules. As me stated earlier on, Order 64 is created for a particular purpose, especially for efficient debate, where we prevent Parliament from becoming bogged down in technical accounting details on the floor. It's policy-focused scrutiny, which it keeps discussion at the strategic and not micromanagerial level. And it provides a clear structure for the House that ensures that budget is approved head by head, and rather than undisciplined free-for-all, across staka argue with each other, no one says small particular nitty details. Mr. Chairman, I think I may have covered that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Attorney General. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Me no seeking clarification more, but me want to say no more that perhaps the terms of reference below PAC needs to be relooked at, because focus block at no semi mitaleme focus block PAC so we need to look at work block at the function block at but at the same time we reread him 64 and especially 64 I mean everything 64 one focus him 7 everything together look also all get a schedule now for local hemia and also get a schedule detailed long hemia now bridge now we make them come and practice here. So I think you need to relook long how now this committee of supply function vis-a-vis the functions of the PAC. Make them to all not repeating each other. In terms of a point where I'm raised by finance, this committee of supply may look as a duplication or he may also wasted time, but sir, before on this floor we've made amendments, previous budgets. So also any place where he may come no more for repeating PAC and work on also. And I think it can be important that role block PAC and role block committee of supply, you may need for make them harnessing together, make them no duplicating each other. And no more point when we like that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita. The role of the committee here is as I mentioned of was in 64.3. And in PAC, if you refer to Standing Order 69E, 1E, it says that there shall be a standing select committee designated the Public Accounts Committee whose function shall be, you refer to E, say, to consider in detail the draft estimates prepared by the government in support of the annual appropriation bill. That's the responsibility of the PAC. And that report to the Committee of Supply is based on this outcome of its consideration under Standing Order 69.1E. What we are doing now is trying to apply now 69.1E as it is the responsibility of the House Committee. It's not. That's the PAC's responsibility. And the report that's brought there after the committee has gone through a detailed estimate and refer that report to here, and that's why 64.3 comes in. You just deal with the policy, not the details which have been covered under the PAC under 69.1E. That's the chair's observation on this. Because if we don't, then we're going to get bogged down with the whole process of this. It will take us more than the 4 days that is given to the consideration of the Committee of Supply of the appropriation. My view. Thank you.
Sir, your view is correct. And you are very gracious and very flexible. Because you may practice him for the last how many years here? So the expectation is by me liberally, committee me liberal in this toing and froing, which is very helpful. Now PAC did not do, obviously in the last PAC or this one, did not do the line by line detailed stuff. Had that ruling come beforehand and PAC was informed beforehand and then given a full month. The PAC was given 2 weeks. You couldn't do this at the PAC level for 2 weeks. So I think there's got to have to be, this is, I'm talking future. Next one, this, you may get this well understanding from here. Next one, government give him supplementary or budget, give him 4 weeks. Then we can't, PAC cannot excuse itself now. But right now we're dealing with a situation where PAC was constrained for time. It did not do the detailed stuff. It looked at the broad picture of adequacy of assumptions and all them. And the report, as you can see, is summary format. I'm not going along with the detailed stuff here. So obviously we all did not live up to the intent, long-standing orders. So, but for now, if you may then go as you are now prescribing, we're very good, as you are saying, it's very good, but I think we would lose some value because PAC did not do its work, it didn't have the time and so forth. So if you liberally allow for stamp process, you may go ahead, you may finish in this one. Next time, you may run government come early, PAC has more time. I may come here, no matter one morning full budget in passing. No matter you 12 no more to passing go now. So me suggesting you may proceed and you just little bit reminding me no more when we get bogged down. Also no more. Then you may move. Thank you.
Thank you. On that, I'll still stick to the rules, right? Of course, if you disagree with Standing Order 34 and Paragraph Final 1, yeah? But please just be cognizant and considerate because of timing. Our issue is timing, right? We are only given 4 days, the committee, for the committee stage. I hope, and yesterday we only covered four heads, and this is a half. And there are the heads that are yet to come, big ones, right? This is education, health, police and national security, all right? These are very, very important provisions in the budget that needs to go through here. We just don't want to bog ourselves down to something that's not going to make any change, right? If any consideration was input, it's because it's going to bring about some changes. But some changes are already, as reported, in the recommendations of the PAC. And that's where the changes are going to come, not here, right? Otherwise, we go through the process again to propose an amendment or an adjustment. It will take time. This is the way that it's been crafted. So on that note, I hope the understanding is perhaps clearly in everyone. Make time you may refer to a particular provision in the estimates. We're very conscious of the need to keep it within the scope and definition. If PAC has failed, that's not the responsibility of this committee. It should not take charge for that. It should rest, means go back, okay. Number of weeks or what for the committee, PAC to is very important. But you have to look at the whole process of government preparing the budget. It's not just a standalone arrangement. This whole thing is all connected, right? And therefore, even looking at the whole cycle of budget preparation to take into account the role of Parliament and the executive so that we ensure we address those issues appropriately instead of turning up here and then the speaker is disagreeing with, or the chairman is disagreeing with everyone. That's not the role of the chairman. I'm here only the chair is only here to preside over the proceedings, not to make any changes to the rules, right? No more. Okay, so we'll go straight from here.
The chairman, me suggesting me go ahead no more now. And or in terms of the rules law house here, you not boss here. Chairman here nothing no more. Chairman here sembara useless no more. Chairman law house here. You know, Chairman, no time we talk about something. By Chairman Law House Committee, by law time what committee anoma. But inside law here, you know, Chairman, time was what man to talk about Zanital. Hey, next page. Also, now you should do him, yeah.
Thank you for your advice.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, Honorable MP for West Arran, the Chairman of the BLC.
Thank you, Chairman. I didn't hear me clear now. If we are to go by your ruling now, Chairman, I would just suggest that you may concentrate on this one, let us not waste time on the bricks and all this, because you may call 63 3 now. Then next year, you may just do him good make him PAC, him help him, you me, and him fulfill him. Bricks here, him call title him, and you make him time him. Because by you mix him here, Chairman. PAC, me say, him not to him that taral work responsibility him. Because they are not aware that standing order have no imposed, and so Okatakim come Samaria no more, and they don't even have time to really go to the breaks and details of him, Mr. Chairman. So I would just suggest that rather than you may waste time, we go by your ruling, Chairman, and you may go approve this one straight no more. Yeah, because as you said, me baraba supporting you, Chairman. What more by you me to him? Imi totoo natin no may, may lebet talk lahem not debate finish. That's my contribution and observation, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. That's you contributing to the process, right? I'd like comments to come straight onto the schedule now, so that we move ahead. Yeah, I think we have had enough of the discussions on the processes and so on. Thank you.
Me suggesting you may suspend, then make him Finance Minister, AG, and Prime Minister meet with him, 2-3 leaders. Then you meet quickly doing this one. Today we finish in full committee, no? That'd be the shortcut. Then you may serve the next time for me.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we've having some procedural debates on the process, which is important, and this has to be part and parcel of reforms, as His Choice has alluded to earlier, in terms of, and of course, Small Malaita has also made reference to probably the need for clarity in terms of the terms of reference of Wakablo PAC, the Committee of Supply, which will require some amendments to the standing orders as well. So that's an important piece of work. I would suggest that, Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, that we proceed on the basis that you said. If there are important policy matters that are relating to some details or bricks, well, let's have that cautious flexibility in terms of that, and of course cross-referencing discussions with the recommendations of the PAC. But we are in your hands, Mr. Chairman. This is your house. But I think if there are issues, policy issues that are linked to one or two details in the bricks, then I think time could be given to that. But if the comments or the questions are administrative and operational, Bayusa make a ruling law of the interventions. But otherwise, I would suggest that instead for me suspend and break more, I would suggest that we proceed. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable MP for East Church.
I agree now. You see what the documents here? If you may go strictly, but this one in a block, Parliament envelope, what the PSS, what they're looking for implementing budget. So you need this one and a block you need. So that's why you may, there's practice a little bit long time under I was PS Block Abe. We're required to, actually after the report come out, PSs are required to respond to the recommendations made by the Public Council. Then to volume in account of Parliament. This one for guiding more the PSs for operating budget. So the thinking is correct. But even been to them come now, so also so But also, so I don't know if I don't know, if will respond to this report no more. And in his and where's I reckon you come voting with head government. That's what this parliament is required. This parliament is required to do. You're correct in your observations. Even though come for page by page. For look, why not this one, why not this one, why not this one? That work seems to be done at PAC. So I think I'll already give him more time to PAC for doing 4 or 5 weeks because I'm doing work for you. And then report they come. And one day no more as Bureau of Residential Budget. So all the thinking is correct. You may just got caught up now. So if some serious response is made to this report by the government, just the committee law house now, I'm guiding members of parliament as to how people should look in now budget of government. You're correct, I love that one. So, and then they made some serious recommendations, led 63 of them, and government responded. And you mean hints now. Finish. But because of this, and we are too saying voting not head and we want to say Mr. finish now.
Thank you. Honorable MP for East Malaita.
Thank you, Chairman. Thingy try to find himself away for me shortcut more. I mean, this time, Mr. Chairman. I think I'm good for Chair. I think let us continue with the usual way we do him come now. I mean, if anything way we like could be more, then we look at the reforms next year for next budget for 2027, Mr. Chairman. Chair, you know more you control the meeting here, Chairman. You looking if me for move on. Yeah, you cut them off if some other areas where some are raising where I'm no follow what now, administrative, what policies, what or same. You move now. Chair, you know who follow me for more. So if you follow me for him na by ni run or some impul lo can le. So Chair, I think just like others too we said, I think you control the meeting and then let us flow with him now the committee stage. Yeah, if anything we would like to do, I think we look at the reforms next year for government and Wakakutan and even amendment to some of the standing orders for next year. So, because I think I know the House Committee go ahead try for Wakalo some amendment or standing orders too. So it's good for time also what the Lulu Clot areas here now for next year. So Chair, make him hold him meeting us. Get him the committee move on. You control our meeting. Yeah, because me follow by ask him any kind whatever, but you know you control. You say no man now go pass go and you go now. So Chair, I think I see that you don't leave it to us. You control this committee supply. Thank you, Chairman.
MP for East Malaita. You know, normally when we start off with the reference to consideration of the budget, the chair always says we begin with the schedules. The schedules, this is not the schedule of the budget. This is a detail. The schedule is the schedule to the appropriation. That's what we are voting on. And the details are here. Unfortunately, the details would have been covered in another proceedings, as I referred to in 69(1)(e). That was not perhaps appropriately captured. And that's why we are trying to repeat going through these on issues that should have been covered under the Public Accounts Committee report consideration on the details of the recommendations on the, and findings of the committee are then referred to Parliament, for which the Committee of Supply goes through and see what the details are. And then that's why you question the minister responsible because of what appears in the report of the PAC, which the Committee of Supply, Public Accounts Committee had made reference to. And that's why I was saying that we go through the Public Accounts Committee report because the recommendations are actually there out of the proceedings of the PAC. I think we've already made that understanding.
Chairman, yeah, you're right. So that's why East Jerusalem tell them. If we follow how now what East Jerusalem tell them, then that's how we should go now. But because of all these things, need to have the reforms in place, standing orders in place. Or if you agree, Chair, then leader opposition say me stop, me story, then me say how now me move. I mean, the options are given to you, so you make your decision. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Honorable, is Ara going to make any change to the proceedings? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. As already mentioned, you're the boss of this House, and of course we will abide by your rulings, perhaps begrudgingly, but we will do so. I think the issues here is about timing, in terms of we are constrained with some time. It seems to be 4 days, and all of that is mentioned, and of course Parliament has to do its work. Importance of convention and practice, I think, is something that we should consider. In terms of stopping in midstream, in terms of moving to another process in the middle of a process now might be an issue to consider as well. But the convention by convention and practice is something that is built up by parliaments around the world as well, as you know, Chair. Repetition is a mark of parliamentary processes. So you get repeated things in committees, and then you little bit repeating more, highest level. Even at the United Nations, as you know full well, Chair, what the committees law there, what same something in do there too, and then everyone meet more assembly straight more for vote law, same something where what the committees vote law and finish too. So that's by tradition, and repetition is a mark of parliamentary processes, and I think it's something that everyone here, you may aware of, and of course you are. In terms of the actual standing orders here that we're talking about, my take on it is that, particularly on 3, it calls in again issues on 65 again, standing order 65 on amendments more. There's a potential that while we're fixing this, in the future there will be a lot of amendments being proposed coming in more law budget here. And I think there are room for that amendments. The whole process of 65, standing order 65, sets out now how now for amendments come in terms of our budget and the proposals for that. So that's a whole new process again that we have to read it together with your paragraph 64.3. I think that you are looking at, and that would be another drawn out process yet again. But I would like to think that. I think the simpler approaches that we're doing now, as we know, this is for the public servants, what we're going through in terms of the items here. And of course, the PAC's report is the one presented to Parliament, as we've now established, and it's well recognized. But the idea now is that I'm sure if they're given time, we won't be having 63 recommendations. There might be 600 recommendations here. Coming to this House. I mean, it will be a much thicker than the ones for the PS, as Istro is always saying, and that will be much more fuller. And then in the end, there might be amendments that we might want to propose according to section standing order 65, which might be another process there more, and then finally come to adoption of it through just a schedules number. As already mentioned, is the right way to do it. But I think by convention that we're doing this has been because perhaps committees in the past have been, struggling with putting together their reports. Could be one of the reasons that allows Committee of Supplies more for you me lebet embellishing. But in terms of the policy, Chair, just for yesterday's discussions, I think there were some really good exchanges, including in the Education Ministry, taking on board some of the policy issues that we might look into in terms of the spending there. Why don't you probably just look at this other issue no more rather than scholarship issue no more, pay off no more senior. These are policy issues that are already starting to filter through the process that we're doing now, which I think is helpful for us going forward. That if we cut it now here more, it might mean put some value into our discussions, especially given the process by the PAC is already done. We have 63 recommendations, but I'm sure it would have been more if he has been given time and it was much more clearer in terms of our processes. But I think the issue on wage number is by convention. We have already been doing this for as long as East Choiseul has been here, and to stop midstream like this might be an issue. But of course, you are the final. You have the final say on this. Just wanted to raise those issues from you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Arare. The request was, sorry, unless you were listening on your way in, but yes.
No, I actually switched off my radio, so I got surprised, when I was doing that, you guys were discussing this whole thing. But I think, would you allow the chairman of the PAC just to get into the loop on this discussion?
Yeah, we were considering to...
So I was just saying that obviously 61 or 69(1)E, my committee wouldn't be able to do it within 2 weeks here. We just didn't have the time to do it within 2 weeks. But as you know, there is one difference about formulation of the budget for Solomon Island, that Parliament is actually involved in the formulation of budget. In other jurisdictions, the Minister or the Treasurer or the Chancellor of the Exchequer basically walk into the Parliament and get his approval, law ceremony. But in our jurisdiction, Parliament is actually involved in the formulation of budget. So I quite agree with what you are reminding us, to comply with in terms of the rules. But unfortunately, all of us have actually failed to give time to all these processes. So we weren't able to do that. But the best that we could do is to come up with a report that basically generally capture the kind of a policy emphasis, and then sticking with the theme of the budget like that. I quite like what East Arare reminded me, Milo, what now I mean, the feature of our Parliament. One of the features is suspension of standing order 2 years, and that power actually, is within the Parliament. So if you want us to go down that path, maybe picking up some of the rules and then navigating out the whole process going through, you suspending no more standing order, then you may go now. You give the rule 4 days, maybe, and then you lump him up no more the pages in these bricks to give us a little bit of a glimpse no more. What are the numbers in the bricks, and then look at the policy, and then we can move forward no more. So we'll stand by your ruling. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair of PAC. About half an hour ago, we already started exchanges, discussion from the perspective of the Speaker. But indeed, if we want to highlight some of these issues in the proceedings and how Parliament conducts itself, take the chance when the senior dear motion comes on. This is where you can air and put out all those observations, right? Capture it appropriately during that motion. But for the time being, we go straight on to this. And unfortunately, I will not call for us to suspend. I think the understanding is already there. Just stick to it, raise the question where appropriately relate to bricks, but not examine the details in the bricks, but as it applies to the policy as are captured in the report. And from there, we go straight on. Because it will not make any difference if we suspend and we come back, right? I think the understanding is already here after all the exchanges. Now, the issue now is, I will be watching out for you practice what you preach. Yeah. By you follow too, or you speak different. When it comes to that, totally different from that. I cannot call say, no, I think I don't want to apply standing order 38 no. Yeah. It's too much of a exercise unless you are a dictator, but not here. It's a parliamentary democracy, therefore we give the right for you to express your views, take into consideration that you're not going to be disallowed because by rule or the rules. I think no. I will not go down that line, but I will be expecting that we respect the exchanges so that we don't call on each individual to say, you stop it, you do this. No, I think politically, I think we're all matured as we sit in these chambers. So we don't need to go into those details. We have not picking enough. So on that note, I think we will continue, go straight on proceedings in consideration of head 05, Ministry of Education. We cannot allow to drag on the discussions anymore. So I'll give you the opening for you to start. I'm pointing at the leader of opposition. Okay, thank you.
Law 64.3, Law NLEM said, but may refer to the details of revenue and funds for which the service is responsible. So what funds lo here, or what funds in the service of this Valhediana, okay. So it's in that spirit, same good spirit you do me Italian coming, you know, by me. We like ask them. But what I was suggesting before, perhaps we could speed this all up by you go start the schedule no more than you approve humbo. Because I'm Christmas too, time this is dying. Or you may go time for you may go hold there now. So me like ask about the support to Sinu. Now longo PAC report. Hemi refers specifically also Chairman Hem a little bit alluded to him yesterday. Support to Sinu, the original pledge to Sinu was 100 million a year. Time you me legislating into charter. And then of course you may not been able for DREAM. So what I'm asking now is what is the policy now of consistent, reliable financial support for government? Is there policy for say basic minimum by OSEM? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, that's the initial time we started with 100 million, but based on our capability, if we give him a Sino would like it, but again, it comes down to the funds. Yeah? So, as we we give 50 million for the development budget, and then another 18.7 million for the grant where we normally support them with the senior grants every year. So you be just about whatever we can give is those two, but we really like to reach that, but again it comes down to the funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Thank you. So what about support law scholarships here? I would say you may give them a scholarship for fee, where I'm going to see you. So that plus this fella 18.7 million plus the 50 million, make me look in where we are with regards to the overall funding support and their operational budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, the scholarship is different too. Yeah, so you add them up all amount. It pretty much go close to 100 million is what the government is paying, including the grants, the DB of 50 million plus scholarship funds here. But thank you. I take note on your points. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think this re-emphasizes, reaffirms this point raised by Istarari yesterday, that we're pretty close to funding their operational budget, and therefore, again, call into question more level of fees, Losinu. And so the ministry needs to take a little bit more of a proactive approach to have those discussions. This one, very important policy matter for society and the economy, and the ministry has a lead role in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader. Your point noted.
Do you have any further comments on the Honourable MP for East Joseph?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The National Library now, do we have a structure what now thinking law there. The policy here is to avail what reading, make him a library available for public to go and read also. Where are we progressing? That is eventually by Garama National Library building or something also. And I think I don't know whether is there any response by our development partners. I think we did put some request for the development partners to fund the National Library. I don't know where it is now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, MP, for his choice. So yes, you be discussing the same thing yesterday. The National Library was already discussed yesterday by a question by East Arare. We have a new design, right? Design process is coming through. I think we're not really sure but there are a few levels on the design. And now we are currently looking at the donors for building that new library. Currently, the library is still used by our students, but it needs to be upgraded so that it meets the standards and also have all these other functions for our library to be used. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any further comments? Thank you, Honourable.
We're not building a stuff, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Same location, no more where the existing libraries.
Thank you. Any further comments? Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. In terms of King George and Wemapuru, of course, they are wholly national government ministry now responsible, but I'm asking with regards to the level of funding. So the level of funding to these two schools is way above those that are received by other national secondary schools. Every Narawan national secondary schools are run by the churches. And so policy now me like ask about it with regards to formula used for grants to national secondary schools. We know these churches don't have money, but they're doing very important work, and there is absolutely no reason why they should not receive the same level of funding that these two schools receive. So this is a formula, like Kosabe, and whether that is under review, make him Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader. Yes, if you look at ownership, those two are owned by the state, right? In all other schools, it's owned by the other providers. So when it comes to equality, I think initially KG and Waiapuru was started a few years ago. Waiapuru had been for serving the eastern side, while KG to serve the sides. I think that's how it was established. So it's owned by the state, so state and government responsibility to look after. But the point of trying to make every other providers to become the same is something where from now the practice is we give them grants and the EPs put their money in. That is how it's supposed to be practiced. But point of making it even is something that we will look into the policy and see how best we can support our other EPs. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. Just on that response by the Minister. So, Tuval School here, but EP, as it were, have no more headquarter or what run under which EPs, King George and Waiapuru.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Under the EP, the schools.
Yeah, thank you. So, one question more below me. Question below me, me go what another page time, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Aye. You go ahead no more. Okay, good. Nice approach, and Chairman, make him come yesterday, no, make him go ahead no more. So, question below me, it's page 9. page 90 and 91. Me like Savenoma allocations for public servants here, law secondary and 89 primary. Or the allocation law there for teachers or for, thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, same for teachers for both community and primary other schools. Teachers.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malay.
Thank you. So, law allocations, law public servants, and for teachers, law education, primary, education, secondary, also now. I am assuming this full allocation, hemi excluding King George and Waimapuria.
Honourable Minister.
Correct. Tuvala also including inside law secondary.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malay.
Thank you. Mina Herem Goodham. Tuvala inside law secondary or Tuvala standalone kind Yuval Noah give him selling all for teachers too?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Chair, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair of the Committee of Halls. Yes, Tuvala also include inside law secondary. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments, Honourable Leader of Opposition?
Yes, in terms of allocations, meetings say Tuval is standalone. Tuval, what aspects now include law secondary support? You mean they're getting additional grants more under law secondary, or are you referring to governance and administrative support now from secondary support unit?
Clarification, Honourable Minister.
Can I ask you to repeat the question?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Well, initially, because Ogata usually get them direct allocation within your budget as separate units to our schools here. But then you say more get under law secondary. So do they get additional grants more under law secondary on top of what is given them directly?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, previously order under the public service here. Now with the change come under the Teaching Commission, the teachers come under the teaching service, secondary school. What law you may look at is just for ancillary staff and others, but teachers only have come under because they are now under Teaching Commission, Teaching Service Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Small Malay.
Thank you. So the education grants for primary and secondary, I'm assuming you channel and go through all the EPs, correct?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. The grants have channel go through the schools, and the schools principals. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Central Honiara.
Chairman, I just want to get this information right about those teachers that used to be under the public service. I mean, Teaching Service Commission has always been there ever since independence blew. So why would they suddenly be transferred from public service to the Teaching Service Commission? They will always be with the Teaching Service Commission. And I know, I mean, you ask all former finance secretaries here, you will always have a separate register for the teaching services. The teaching service establishment register would be different from the public service register. So can you correct him now? This is a question where we are. Leader, you ask him? Yes. I think you ought to correct that. No, a question about all teachers where him stop lawyer, where him say him come from public service to the Teaching Service Commission. You got to explain that discrepancy, please.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. There's nothing to explain. Public service have looked after public service. The teachers have come under Teaching Service Commission. They have a separate commission that looks after the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. One small something normal on page 90 under education service secondary. I'm looking at all the housing allowances and one for item law there for elected members. Law 2026 budget estimate, we got almost $300,000 law there. I'm just wondering if the minister could clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. That one here, or the them come under for those teachers who no stay in house block or the schools here. They're paid to those who stay outside the houses where they are not provided for under the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. Maybe we should look at another narration or this one, because meeting what Manchester election, but I also all teachers now elected to go away or something also, or what now terminology here, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you. I just noted that for I had housing allowance elected members. It's an error. That elected members, yeah, public servants. Yeah. That one. Final starting a little bit. Thank you.
Anyway, you know West Ham law, administrative something. You reminded me no more, Chairman.
Okay. Thank you.
So, law side law national exams now may like to ask about the ongoing issue law leakage law exam papers here. What has been the experience law this year and what steps now ministry been taken for eliminating this problem? It has been a very big problem.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader, for position. Yes, as me stated during my debate, it's an ongoing issue. It's a challenge for us. Yeah. This year, we have 3 Falanahem reported to us, 3. And then we are now investigating those 3. And once the investigation is complete, we will find out it involves teachers and leaders, then necessary action will be taken. But it's an ongoing issue. But we believe that the protocols that we are currently now using, is we tighten it up, we should take control of it. But it's a major challenge. It's a major challenge we have to tell them. And I'm calling out to our teachers out there and also the leaders to do the right thing. Right? Thank you so much, Leader.
Thank you. Honorable Leader.
Thank you. So where in that process now, leak happened? Lo printery or before printery or after printery or on the plane or on the ship, delivery to school or at the school before exam day? Have we identified where the leak normally happen?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Mostly leak happen time what the papers arrive at the schools here. But what we've got is those. But in printing we don't have any issue with printing and go out. But mostly is when Kasimo at the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Sol, for allowing me. This is a problem law leakage. We have to hone in law Mr. Chairman, because I'm problem too. Small question normal or me for Minister me point him lawyer me. I think he heard him announcing that there will be a back pay for teachers. Me like sabe whether you may got him any allocation for him budget and him lawyer. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. If you look, law, salary, blood public service, blood primary, secondary, there will be you see an increase, a substantial increase. So that is where I have factored in that. And we are calling on the finance to roll it out as early as next year. If what current funds, January should come in, but that will depend on our finance. But it's factored in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Joyceol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just on Tibet, Mr. Chairman, I think the emphasis for that is very important. It comes to people who actually move this country forward, people who come carrying skills and also not the guys who push papers over the office. So you maybe outlining come for me well. What's the process for apply for establishing a role training center? As me David hinted, we want to convert the Social Community Development Center into a full-fledged role training center. You outlining the processes that you all need to doing for doing that one.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, MP for East Joyceol. Yes, as mentioned yesterday in Tibet, the government has passed the Tibet policy. Now that by the current policy, the RTCs are run under churches over the past years. Now that the government now is forming a policy for Tibet, it has been passed and now it's been developed. And then that's how we take them on. We want to make Tibet to become, as you rightly say, a lot of our young people are out there, but just need to be with the skills, right skills. So we like to take them down low level. So it's at the policy level. Once we've got all these processes, we will not let this House know how we can go about with the policy. It will be sit with scientists and others will drive it, and especially supported by our ministry to move it. But Tibet is the way to go now. Our focus now is shifting into Tibet. And the funds there, if you look in there, we have a few officers in the Med now, and we will be employing more as we go along. Once we got the policy direction will help us to get moving on where they will like to bring it our Tibet level into. But that's shifting upskilling our young people is the number one priority of our ministry this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any other comments? Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So this one had me good. It's good to have cohesive policy law, Tibet. Of course, one of the core characteristic, an important characteristic of this policy is to rationalizing the distribution of Tibet institutions, physical locations. Because this subsector has grown organically and no involvement of government for so long. Churches seem to put a rule training center where their other spiritual objectives are. And some of those may not be population centers where catchment may be more rational when we're looking at the entire spread of the country. So that ought to be an important policy consideration to make sure we can build a few really top standard Tibets. We're no longer training skills for just village living. We're training for that too. We're training skills for the 21st century. So it's important we have good institutions where we're hosting a lot of students in one place, fully equipped, fully staffed, qualified staff with good teaching, learning, equipment, materials, and environment, and all same. So for that, for you me realizing it needs to be a little bit more rational. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader of Opposition. Yes, that's the policy, rational. To have that, and then we put in order locations where to capture it. And on this note, we will not choice. We may not get. I think one found, but me like thank you, MP for East Joyceol, where him telling yesterday that center blame by him like for converting into a Tibet. All right, so that is where to go now. So Leader, yes, we will definitely put TVET schools, yes, but the RTCs are there. We will upgrade the RTCs up to TVET level. That's what we're anticipating. And at the same time, we will build a lot of places where immunogaremol is, so that at least students have an opportunity to access those facilities and those schools for that training. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Chair PAC, Central Honiara.
Chairman, me come back low sin. I think leader I'm asking to give. I mean, I'm not sure whether that is what we are going to maintain for Sinu going forward into the future. 18 or 19 million budget support here. If we are going on that rate, we might as well close him down Sinu no more. What's the thinking of the ministry going forward? How are we going to boost this grant support for Sinu? Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair of PAC. That is just the grant, and excluding school fees and all that. So, school fees we spend, we buy more to school fees. So there is more that senior is taking, I assure. But it's from discussion yesterday, you mean like for cutting more, give what we're not paying school fee more, and another problem more. But we believe it's something that we will look into, but this is what we have been given based on the funds that is available. But so apart from the grants, we're also receiving school fees as well. So that should, we believe that should be enough of them. Otherwise, going forward, we will look into how we can also support them further. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Chairman PAC.
Chairman, time you look long at the school fee here, and basically, school fee for Osem Namai, I mean, maintaining more students low there, boarding and that sort of thing, but I don't think you will have the flexibility for you attracting, good quality lecturers, for instance, yeah? So if we are running that institution just to keep him no more the students low there with the kind of lecturers that you mean there, I don't think we are going to aim for any improvement or qualifications or graduates out from CNOE. I think you need to look beyond just for holding people normal there, for feeding mogada emotion. Because school fees here, I mean, meant for Osem Namaya, but I mean, you got to give the flexibility for that institution for a plan for expansion. Emotion. The quality of teachers, that we need to attract coming inside. That's important. So I think we need to look beyond just what Nahemgolo school fee and little support that you may give him. That's not giving any option for this institution to grow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, I've taken note of your advices and your points, and we'll see to make that Sinu has become one of the best institutions going forward. But apart from that, we gave about 50 million for GLODB, for what are infrastructures and other things, and also your advices are taken note of. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Chair. I think just to add on the response from Minister, I think previously the main reason that the government was concerned, especially because there was a need for Sinu, especially to improve on some areas in terms of restructuring the institution, and especially improve on management in terms of financing. And so that's some of the reason that, because the government was also requesting if Sinu can provide some more detailed plan in terms of development of Sinu. So that's one of the reasons. But Sinu is improving a lot now, and so I think the point noted in terms of resourcing our own universities is important. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you, Chair. Just on the students at CNU, no more numbers. Imikaram, how many students are enrolled or admitted? And is it increasing in terms of the trend, or is it stabilizing, or that one? Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Before starting, I'm sorry, Minu Garem, exact enrollment below Sinu, not only below SIG1 in sponsor Numa, I have the numbers which I have stated yesterday during the debate. But for the whole enrollment, I don't have it, but I can get the information from Sinu, and then we can provide it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member for East Arare.
Thank you, and Chair, for giving me Mino Lukim Law about the heads Lemila here and inside Law BAC report. But just wanted to ask a general policy on the thinking on, if there's a thinking already on influence of AI inside law systems, Lemila education, and perhaps use of that by students. And is that something already you're thinking about, or something that you're leaving to individual education, what name we call them, the providers, or to look at it this time? Or is it something that you're looking at overall? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, MP, for Istarara. Yes, inside law, ICT Master Plan law education, it's captured inside law, our ICT Master Plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
ICT Master Plan? Saya mi confuse mo ICT o ICT law financing or curriculum or pedagogy or approach, because we need a little bit more comprehensive. How is AI going to be used, and risks of misuse or abuse, or what kind of something, you mean it for?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, sorry, it's Education ICT Master Plan. We have captured in AIs, we have our connectivities, infrastructures program, everything captured inside our Education Master ICT Master Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, lo side longo sinu lo TVET, school of or trade school here, plumbing and surveying and welding and all that something here. What's the policy going into the future? Sinu will retain those, or will those go to a more TAFE type of skills type institution? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Chair. Currently, Senior has been the one providing this over these years, yeah? So in terms of restructuring, at the moment, as I said earlier on, we are working with that policy in the direction of SINU as an institution. We will talk with them and look at how we can, that can be. But currently, it still sits with SINU as one part of the School of Science and Technology. But we look at where now Baham come as the policy and my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, just for clarification, so I take it that policy where Cabinet approval may have no reach Kasim those aspects of what the offerings are at senior.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you. That policy is something where on TVET alone, but I'm not capturing at Nasino and all that, but it's just looking at how we can get that that TVET education, also vocational education on board. So we'll be looking at that.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big gap in policy. I mean, what SINU is providing with regards to skills training is at the peak end of it, with highest qualifications, low skills training, now SINU, yeah? So if you're looking at policy, you want to look at it from entry point to exit point, low qualifications, yeah? In which case, the offerings at SINU would seem to me like core to what is offered to the country. So I'm good for policy, must address him, not leave him long time. Paul must go look at him quick time, and then policy then provides a more rational approach to ensure that the resource allocation can be strategic. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader, for your points. We take note on that, on your suggestion. Thanks.
Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Sir, me like for ask law, side law inspectorate, what the overall objective law inspectorate is, and in terms of its reach, how many visits per school was achieved in 2025. Perhaps if you have figures for 24 would be even better, so we get some sense of a trend. And in 2026 proposals here. So we get a sense of how the system is being inspected. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Can you repeat in point? Sorry, we're not taking the beginning part of it. Thank you.
Honourable Leader, repeat.
Yes, some indicative data say 24-25 visits per school by inspectorate staff would give us an idea, and then your projections for visits per school of 2026. So we get a glimpse of how the entire system is being held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Actually, what happened is every EPs we have 2 inspectors. We have help out to do inspections to all the schools, but to get the exact figure of how many inspections of the doing, Mr. had, but we do have allocated 2 inspectors for each EPs to do inspections. So that it is also part of this Education Act, streamlining down to EPs so that that work will be done under this agency agreement. We have done in provincial level that they will do it on at the EP level. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Do we know how many schools were not inspected?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. At the moment, we don't have how many schools information, but we will provide that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Are.
Thank you, Chair. Page 89 and 19, education services, primary and secondary, particularly what the education grants heads there. There's a decrease that we're seeing there in both primary and secondary. Is there any reason behind what the decrease education grants for Tufala primary and education, primary and secondary? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Relocation for second. Thank you. That decrease now with the new classification under primary and secondary. Before we started with the schools, we started law primary community schools. We have to go ahead, even go into secondary too. And so now we differentiate in those where the community high schools here, they go to secondary, and that's why you look at the decrease because of those schools where Garem class 1 who work as in form 6 here. So now we streamline them, putting them as senior and primary schools. That's why we see that decrease. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable for Central Honiara, Chair PAC.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to, that discussion of TVET there was a very excellent one, and quite promising to hear from the Minister that, Cabinet has just approved a policy. If you look at page 68, and then you compare him along page 110, I mean, obviously that is a assistance to Tibet from a donor partner. And then you comparing the number and the priorities that, we are putting together, it doesn't seem to reflect the kind of priority or what you are expressing. So I'm just asking whether or not there is scope for you to build him up a little bit resource law next year, for a little bit match him now, the kind of priority. I mean, you spoke very well about it, but time you look longer what donors are putting there, the importance on this on this particular level of skills, educational training here. Embara reflect very badly the Yumi Minister. I mean, some budget of 74,000, you compare him to 4 million long order donors here. Goodness me, you know. But maybe you might have it in the development budget. I'm not too sure. Thank you. I want to comment on that one.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yep. Yes, that is correct. We donors are standby to put, but definitely there will be funds going in. We have a supplementary once we've got the policy running through, and then we got a direction. Then that can come through the supplementary budget. And also, at the moment, Mr. Abosem, there are a few donors who have already give signal to me that they will fully support this and they will pour money into TVET. That's why me bara happy that you maybe move on this one. And so as East also with the new TVET school blend and others where you like to put them on the strategic location. And of course, it's what Leader of Opposition saying. We really need to, build a school where have got an image where we produce TVET, not just to produce, but also to meet those transformative, especially in the productive sector like agriculture, fisheries, and all that. So that is the direction that we are taking on that. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Choiseul.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for clarification, we're teaching the services consistent allocation, so allocation 10 million, 10 million, 8 million. I'm not necessarily meaning that we are what teachers are finishing. There is consistent payment, I think, throughout the year, 10 million, 10 million. I think this year now 8 million for long service benefit. Does that necessarily mean that people are finishing off? And if case, how many? Also, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yes, you're correct. That's why I have got 10 million. Remember, during this year, you asked for a supplementary. So we take it as we have got 10 million. We paid that one and have come back to the baseline. 8 million is the baseline. So we come back to the balance. So we are now on track on paying up our long service benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Choiseul.
And thank you. But my question specifically, I'm not necessarily meaning people finish here. Are they still in the service? Or are the people or people who are receiving long service benefit?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yes, correct. But last year we have a backlog. That's why we asked for a supplementary and maybe a little bit increase. So we clear that backlog. Now you need to come back to the baseline, which is 8 million, to continue with those whereby retire this year going forward. So that's why we have that 8 million back as the baseline to cater for those whereby are retire going forward. But the increase in the last is because of the backlog that we are clearing those retired to. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Choiseul.
How many teachers now involved here? How many teachers are actually retiring?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. That one minute got it in hand. We wait for EPs to provide more who will be retired. So those statistics come from the EPs to us. But whatever we have there, have none for travel clearance. So I will get the number that were retired, and we will furnish the retired numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Surely it's teaching service division. Got data where I'm age below every teacher. I'm recruit EP. I'm putting PORA. Every information in the computer and red flag now. 2 years ahead yet, 1 year ahead. Pakai by retire by Kasim 55 law time also. So then you take that for budgetary purposes. So surely you know this even without over the EP submit, and therefore then you go to when time you submit on the basis of the actual data. So you're not creating another backlog more going forward. But the way it is here, by backlog going forward more, and then you need one for big boost more for clear them, then you go back to square one more. Also, there's no consistency. Sir.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, we appreciate those comments. Those are the biggest challenges that we are facing. But thank you, appreciate your comments on that one.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Chair. And, probably good for you to move faster. But anyway, to respond to the concern raised by Chair, Leader of Opposition, I think the implementation of the Education Act help, especially to do with the teacher registry. Yeah? And so you will see that especially finance and education, not so much bits of funds within the ministry's budget over the years on help, especially because of some teachers was name law system, but no real teacher. So that can also help in terms of the teaching service salary, and also but then help to law adjustment law or the teaching service salary, which is including the new recruitment for teachers. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister of Finance. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, but what seems to be the case is at the systems level, this data is not being, it's being harvested. So we're collecting the data, but it's not being used beyond the entry point. And that has budgetary implications. And the issue where Minister of Finance and me touched on, this is a problem, Minister of Finance. I mean, he not just law education, him law, the rest of public service as well. So then you make a nominal with nominal allocations. So for following baseline normal, but baseline him form law one for artificial figure in the first place. If you be baseline law, you pass law the whole way now. It's some stage with regards to human resource. You must get up to speed and really understanding correct actual data, budget them, reflect them accurately. I think that's of important to the budget process importance.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Any comments on the observations, Honourable Minister of Finance?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think very important, something that especially to look seriously, and that not only with teaching service, but other key ministry that employ lots of people. That's something that is important to look at, and that's the work ongoing, especially with now the Ministry of Education, but important to, and probably that the recommendation earlier to do with the D365, that will be help as well with that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honourable Chair of PAC.
Thank you, Chair. This in relation to Sinta, the issues we're faced with Sinta law. I think for the past 2 years or 3 years, I think we need to really commend the Ministry and Minister and officials for your the hard work that you have put together to negotiate an outcome with the Sinta. So next year, do you think that we will resolve every problem with them, Sinta, or there will still be some outstanding yet for the coming years? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chairman of PAC. Before me, by Finance Minister, I have talked later, but we hope, based on the log of claims were put forward with the Mayor and the government, we have come up with an agreement, and that's why we have honored the agreements now. Yeah, so the back pay of 129 million will happen early next year, and for back payment of the whole year to 2024, January to December. That one is what we agreed on, and we hope, believe that should is ending now for now, and then we will go with the 5-year review. After every 5 years, they will review for that one. My corner is on the Finance Minister for honoring normal, but the ECE will have to be paid before end of this year. So they're currently working on them to clear the log of claim for our EC teachers, whereby what are paid based on what has been signed by SINTA and government. With that, we believe that they should be satisfied. At the same time, next year they should go back and start their teaching service and reduce them a little bit now, absenteeism, because we respond to their grievances, and then we believe finance is doing it. We have to thank the finance team for finding that money, right, to honor our teachers who have been working very hard. What will come, and now they are now on holidays, enjoy the holiday, and 26 January they will come back and earn their back pay, and we hope from our side as a government we have honored, and they will honor that one to attend the classes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Choiseul.
Just this last, maybe one more. There was I think a study was supposed to be carried out on establishing the real cost of providing education services in the country. The same study should happen to the Ministry of Police and Ministry of Health as well. I don't know whether that study is in progress for establishing the real cost of delivering education services in this country, taking into account all the providers of education services in this country. So to decide exactly how much time actually costing me, so that the discussions will be a lot of, or the one may make more sense, Mr. Chairman. I don't know where that study is now.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yes, that study have happened, and that study helps us to go down to as far as costing a student per head, right? Per head for each student. That's the study have cost him. So that's when it helps us to formulate our budget, especially for schools and for teachers and for all the operation of the school. And once we factor in, sometimes they put them with a real amount, funds too, or cut them off too. So that's when. But helping drawing out a budget, yes, that study has been done, and we have come up with costing, what have costing for one student. At the moment, we don't got that how much it costs, but I can provide. But I can assure that study has been done, and it helps to formulate our budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Me ask more about our favorite Domitol Minister, MLE. And on this, it's a new policy initiative. Pilot was very successful, and it will be the first time that the pilot will be increased, expanded. Lo Makira, under Lo Makira Provincial Educational Provider. So me, like for where that allocation is, Longo, and how much it is. Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader, for that question. Favorite question, Blow. Leader, not that one, yeah? Sorry, I need to just pull them up no more. Okay, yeah. Yes, the allocation, if you look law 050, the teacher professional, this year, that is the second chance. Under second chance, we provide him a budget there, and also for the vernacular of another $1 million has been put towards that to continue with the vernacular language. So it's in the teacher training and the for the curriculum as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
So obviously, the ecosystem to enable MLE by start with teacher training, and of course community plays a very important critical role here. So I'm wondering whether that allocation envisages from teacher training to deployment. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yes, because we will be identifying along which particular areas to go. So it should capture within that budget, and it should be go along. If we look at the need and go more, then we can continue to increase the budget to see that we can capture others as well. But we will go by community to continue to what has been done in the past already. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Leader.
Yeah, this one for the important initiative, sir. Multilingual education or vernacular education, where we get a picnin logo entry points are taught in their mother tongues, so their thinking skills and abilities are really harnessed. Time we get learning English, but we get understanding much better. So I just want to ask along side law allocations to provincial providers, education providers, last parts and including the City Council. Or the last pages long of detailed schedule, sir. How long this formula has been in place and whether it is due for review. I'm just thinking the last time I was in Temotu, sir, and if you talk with him, member Blon Nende, man him chief education officer there for a long time, and time him campaign and mane by take him to Valsikol, him go kasim tikopi. And this one here, 3-4 days trip here. So I'm just wondering whether the formula takes into account the, of course, per head, I mean, always an important one, but the distances and the cost involved. Time few kasim lode, I mean, cost blem baron narwena. That formula has, as I understand it, has been in place for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, the calculation, we categorize them, right? Look at the number of schools or under those EPs, where they being started per head of the schools, number of schools under the EPs, number of schools, and then we categorize them not low urban and rural distance. So that's how we formulate that for the costing of the grants that given to the EPs. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments, Honourable MP for Central Honiara?
Chairman, you know, it's also featured in the PAC report, second chance here, the second chance policy here. I think it's a very good one. We are not sure. The only option that I think your ministry presented to the committee was to have additional allocation to the constituency. Yeah? So with that additional 10 million here, what's the number that you are pitching for each constituency to be able to give second chance or the, yeah? Is it 10, 1,000 or what is it? Because as you continue with 50 here, then him 10 in, Bahamas 500, yeah, 500. So we have to, you must make sure that Mivaleron must get to that target. Nukut Chavala or go down low the primary and secondary. Mival must target him not, that fall that you doing below the official scholarship. So what's the number that you're targeting us, you know, to achieve next year? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, second chance education is something where we must do. So as you may like looking a good living example of second chance, and no man talk. When you're out of school because of many reasons, after a few years, you come back to school. I'm product of that. That's why I'm favoring this for students who are leaving school because of reasons. So we like we must put himself in line. Thank you for your recommendation. Sorry, point. So thank you for your recommendation. Where you put him come recommendation 9. Yeah, you can say 50 or 100. Have come off. Yeah. So number by minute of talent. If you will be talent, then you will cross from me. Yeah, but please, time me out him lot allocations. You will must happy no more. Yeah, but I'm taking your recommendation seriously, leader, chair. But how much I'm out him. But this is second chance is me happy that I'm brought up. It will give students who have gone to school, similar like me, when we out look at our secondary school and I'm coming back and we'll see where I am now. This should give encouragement to our students out there where you've been out of school just because you darang on the mouse, and then we were out of school for 3 years before I went back and did my Form 6. And that's where second chance, it becomes alive today. And thank you so much, PAC, for picking that one up. This time by the Italian model law, the country, the nation, so that they know. Yeah, so so the number by me have to out him to meet your recommendation is something where we will work on to see that second chance is really driving or put out so that other students with the similar cases can come back and continue with their education. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Harare.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Minister, for having me for supporting to my second chance. Third chance, me no sabe, but second chance, bara nice, and congratulations. I think you're a fine example of that. So thank you so much for that, for a little bit insights and testimony, Blue. Just wanted to ask you more in terms of fees more. Of course, we take a hat off to you in terms of exams fees. You bara zero now. But there's other fees that some fella come asking me for him too. Yeah? Some fella say, what more? Development fee more, or caution fee more. Some fella man go transfer fee. What is the policy of government law? Those other fees, are they being charged individually by the schools, or is that something that you fella giving blessing law? That one number, policy. Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Member, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, MP for East Harare, for that one. Yes, before Gare policy, I'm at the school where we give seculars to all the schools based on the Act in the Gare Lokota law, rural area. We categorize them. So that one is fee where they're supposed to pay. They should not go beyond those fees, and that one secular have go out law. Every leader said they should know. I'm assuming now that everybody, every principals, every schools know that if they charge over, if a lot of law committee talks come so that we deal with the school. But in terms of the schools for development and the policy, we don't have much on that no more. But schools imposing, but we the policy doesn't say much on that. It's just on the school fee where policy have come. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The Minister does have power for certain fee range, but perhaps a more proactive disposition is useful, where you will issue secular, say a year or two ahead, and then tell them what now you will submit him come what now fees blue for next year or year after, for lock him down for 2 years or something or so. So there's consistency, and then no anyone by him charge over. This kind you allow you send him secular, then him depend log at now. So time we charge him above, unless complaint reach him ministry before ministry have acted. But if complaint there or complaint log ground no more, but no come up law you, and then by you service or ministry no rectify. It would be useful to have that as a normal way of setting these fee ranges. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, those comments are well. Actually, we've sent out the school. We haven't got about the range here. Like for example, Eben schools for primary, they cannot charge school beyond 1,200. For Eben, that's Eben. For rural, $250. For primary there, If you go above, Minister got a power for penalty meal, penalize of school. So there are ranges where you can go up to that limit, but not beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable.
Yes, so the question to me is, when do you issue that circular for that for year, academic year? When do they get it? They get it at the beginning of the year as they're setting their fees, or what time how to get them?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. They have already issued out to the all EPs and the schools, and they don't have stand. If we have to make a changes, then we will do another issue prior to making the changes. So that one I have stand for last year, this year, going forward until we change the school fee. So it's already been issued to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Leader.
So perhaps that could be added to the inspectorate visits for report back on fees. So we're not relying on complaints no more, but that when inspectors go, we have to check them what fees here and then report back so you can make sure there's compliance. The fees issue is a big policy issue for us, for the whole country. So it does need to be enforced. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. Yes, you're correct. Normally, if school want to charge beyond what is being inside the policy, they can apply to the ministry, and then we can consider their case by case. Yeah, but there are also parents too what complain with some schools where we charge big, so that and then we respond and we explain, and also we tell the school. So the inspectorate, yes, they help us at the EP as well. So thank you for that, for your comments. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, unless there are further comments, I'm now going to put a question. And the question is that the sum of 1,318,813,537 for head 05 stands part of the schedule. All those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The sum of $1,318,813,537 for head 05 now stands part of the schedule. We can start consideration of head 06, Minister of Finance and Treasury, before we suspend for the afternoon. So on that note, it is proposed here that the sum of $243,822,067 for head 06 stand part of the schedule. And if any member wishes to comment on this head, you can refer to the PAC's findings and recommendations of the head on pages 42 to 64 of the PAC's report on this bill. And we will go through, again, from where we started the instructions. I want to go page by page on the PAC's report. So I will now invite comments on the head as per the pages 42 to 64 on the outcome and consideration of the PAC's report. Any comments to start with? So page 40. 42 and 43. Okay. Thank you. Any comments on those pages, Minister of Finance, page 42?
Thank you.
Honourable before is Churchill?
Yes, as read with the bricks as well too. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Under the economic reform unit amendments, which SOEs are we recapitalizing, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Honourable Minister of Finance, Treasury.
Thank you, Chair. Let me thank the member for his choice for that important observation. Yes, mainly the allocation under the capitalizing in ICSI, Solomon Airline, and also some support on that by also to DBS. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any further comments? Honourable MP for East Choice.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's, what I saw is what I see is performing very, very important role along the whole structure of the government to deliver services and also by continue for assisting Okata. Now, DBSI specifically, I note there's an allocation of 18 million, I think, development budgeted. There's a proposal for you really recapitalizing that well. The bank, Mr. Chairman, when we had discussions with him, or they're willing to participate along the program of government for driving growth, and also if we properly recapitalizing Okata, Mr. Chairman. So the plan to reach out to OPEC, and I note the comments by the Public Accounts Committee. I think that there's some words of caution there. Maybe noting that, what's the plan for him to go ahead for really capitalizing good DBSI so that they become actively participate in the government's program for driving growth through private sector-led approach, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Choice. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, MP for each treasure. That really as the theme of the budget, and of course government policy direction in terms of areas of growth, and so that apart from this, the government is also from the development budget put some funds for DBSI, and that also point to note that moving some funds from agriculture and also commerce, but there are also support, especially from commerce too. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Choice.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. We were going to approach OPEC as well. What's the progress with it?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. As you probably hear from the debate, including the debate from Minister of Agriculture, in fact, the growth or huge improvement in terms of the agriculture sector, that's something that also because some of the support given to SEMA or so that is something that we see encouragement to continue to fund good funding, especially into this area. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you. First response to Law Minister, and we talk about capitalization of various SOEs here. ICSI was included in that. How much now capitalization for ICSI, and what for? What's driving that capital raising? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader of Official Opposition. The support given to ICSI is 15 million. As I also alluded in my speech when tabling the budget, the Niger government, as one of the subsidiary under ICSI Logistics, the idea now for procuring some kind of vessel for bringing out products from provinces or from the rural areas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader.
I take it So this is a policy shift before Semana or doing this one. So it is not just agriculture produce, but other produce. If it's this is not this is now going to be an ICSI subsidiary devoted to maritime transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader. Yes, that point, especially like in the past with SEMA, because the concentration of SEMA mainly on agriculture product or the products that's prescribed and Schedule below SEMA. But now we sort of like open up to look at like one of the growing areas now, fishery now, seaweed, because what we informed that ships a little bit no like for current seaweed come. I think because of it might cause some effect law, especially because any services that provided by private sector, and so the idea for ICSI now for a little bit not really like SEMA and be more focused on agriculture, especially copra, cocoa, mainly copra in the past, but now we want to sort of look at like example we give him law for forestry timber or law for fishery seaweed, like member for small malita. That one now Hembar dreams, and so the idea now for that vessel now for go around and collect him. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Kami kam askem selene ro sitna ya chairman. But policy rational law meno CPM good something ya. But whether ICSI me creating another shipping company for Gatamua and also, is it something where SEMA knows how to do shipping here? Because agriculture, I think a lot of time will come law committee or to talk about help SEMA for that kind of something. So me like have good yeah. This one here for new shipping company or and how yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair of House Committee. And yes, this subsidiary of ICSI and IDNA for operating, it's not really to compete with the private sector, but to provide the service, because that's the challenge we face now, especially for and the thing with the policy, SEMA is concentration mainly on agriculture. Of course, that's something that once we want to widen the operation of SEMA, that because it's of its own legislation that governing SEMA. But the ICSI is an investment arm of the government that can go into other areas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable for his Churchill.
Now, I think the thinking there, shipping, for example, very, very important infrastructure in Kwamilo County. Of course, you can do it either allowing the market forces to deal with it and I'm addressing. Now, I'm not even got a problem with this country now, so that means we really need to, there must be productivity. For example, if seaweed stucker, okay, I might making private sectors, okay, we buy them shipping now. And also, so that's where probably the focus of the government will be, to increase productivity so that they make any private sector entity want to buy them ship, that shipping by any operations by viable. So I think that's the thinking that we've been battling a little bit when we were there as well. Either you allow the market forces to take its course or government intervenes straight now. And so it's demand, you're driving demand, yeah. So I think that's why probably ICSI go down that path. But ICSI occupied a very, very powerful, very strategic position along the structure of the government as an entity that can actually run in business. but fully mindful, of course, of trade on the law sample what operate good finish and ICSI go inside that one that probably will not be. I think we really need to be selective where ICSI by go, then and pick him up operation and pick him up that one, and then maybe at some point in time I'm giving back to the private sector. I think that's kind of the policy approach that we need to look at. But just a comment on the shipping issue.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and I thank the member for his suggestions. In fact, that's some of the lessons learned, especially in the past, that we need to, in terms of policy, to look at and mainly as to look at where sometimes the private sector not able for servicing, or even because as part of this one, as you know that one of the policy of government too, this one service, community service obligation, that him also supporting or the SOEs that providing services that are non-commercial. So that's something that we especially to improve, and also to see the policy really for its intended purpose. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the policy belong public sector also may participate in this sector law shipping maybe good, but this also how for all the ministries work together. Also, me tell them today, Ministry of Agriculture, what do you think of that one? Yeah? In fact, sir, I tell them, I like for building or get warehouses law or the constituencies, yeah, for part of this idea of shipping, go take and in fact, what I'm not making for agriculture no more, making for seaweed too. I think him good fella idea, yeah. That one I'm meeting him good. We will reap economies of scale, time we do him kind something also, yeah. You know, kind also, Siba go him looking seaweed, I know mami fal kopra no ma, so him go from now. That one now meeting government should go rational law policy, yeah. And if SEMA by him doing more shipping, ICSI more, perhaps I go ahead go compete with each other also, yeah. I'm sure someone's throat will be cut.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for that observation, especially Chair of House Committee and member for Small Malaita. I think the intention of the policy to sort of broadening the base, especially economic activities, rural area, and one of the challenges that we find out, especially transport connectivity, a challenge, and so that's also the concern also raised from PHC report in the past, that I think the challenge we face with transport or logistic connecting the country, that's a challenge. And so the idea of improving ICSI and also SEMA to look at the other areas that, for SEMA not operating shipping service at the moment, and so that to be clear that ICSI logistic now for doing this one. Other areas that you may also, which is still areas for exploring, to look at, especially we are now looking to grow as well in the mining sector, which is private sector, so much concentration there, but that also idea that government, or even the forestry sector. So that's the kind of it is that we look to see the rationale behind the policy, and the challenge we face in logistics mainly to connect, especially to the market. So that's why the main reason and the policy rationale for this. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, because you must take a big ship here. Because if you mean mining more, you need to take up ground man. In a small ship, this one. I could also maybe small mala last time. Em run loose no more go, the forget them no ever. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, so I mean we have had experience Losema, but also national shipping before, yeah. So that needs to all be weighed in. But I'm good something. There is market failure certainly in logistics in terms of maritime transportation. So it is space where governments have to intervene, but not to intervene and then step everything or something. Private sector already are doing and doing well. I'm just wondering the adequacy of the allocation number 15 million. Second-hand ship, obviously, and not a very big one. And then by for Ranem, you're going to need more money. And for Ranem, by you must subsidize him. By I would run loose for at least a few months. But shipping magnate na lo sa blue no man. Sabi. Pagol belum ya, you look what I'm like, but bakta lo shipping. So if you know handlem good here, a lot of these routes were a little bit marginally profitable, a huge competition. And so shipping is not a highly profitable industry. And then out logging barge, or got to go inside more, or got to step on top of money more, down in freight more, because they have some economies of scale. So if you go inside more, you go squeezing more, get more, that would be counterproductive. If government more and go put on that kind of pressure on shipping operators, believe me. So the policy needs to be a little bit more focused and targeted, so it doesn't have those unintended, undesirable consequences, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the important observation, especially, yes, that's really true point. Acknowledge that I think for government, especially through ICSI and ICSI Logistics for operating this service, mainly to provide service to our farmers, rural, because the challenge, as I mentioned earlier now, the access to market is the problem that they face, especially when they continue to go into other areas like seaweed or forestry. And so that's the intention. And now government is allocating 15 million under this budget to look at that one. But as we continue and also to see how this policy implemented, and then BAM help us to. But the point in terms of subsidy, that's also pointed to help, because like me mentioned earlier, under this policy CSO, Community Service Obligation, that's one of the policy that the government also put implementing with the SOEs that are providing services that are not commissioned. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
So is the Minister suggesting that franchise shipping scheme any failure? I mean, could these objectives not be achieved under law subsidized scheme? Yeah? Thank you. I thought that was the main intention. Policy intention of franchise shipping now is to do exactly what Minister Hemi said by this fellow logistics company by Hemi doing.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Just to think probably by Minister of MIDS, Minister responsible for franchise shipping, probably by also comment on that. But in terms of the need that for providing this service, I'm quite something that because currently even the private sector not able to meet him because of we start to improve, and also productivity, especially low of commodities here, so need for more reliable shipping service. And so that the government, mainly for the policy, not go mainly for bringing competition, but for trying to provide the services which is by help Of course, like with the franchise shipping arrangement, I think still the challenge we face because to cover the whole country, even the private sector that the government sort of supporting that still not really enough to support through this franchise shipping arrangement. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Leader.
Yes, yeah, thank you. I'm just wondering if a study was done, to properly look at all these variables to inform policy, because there is the franchise shipping, then current industry shipping operators already, and then Obaro identify now the gaps here. As I would naturally think that the first policy response would be to, expand the franchise shipping. Because my assumption of franchise shipping is that it is fairly reliable. If government no pay no more, no pay fuel, then not no go on time. If government pay, then it is fairly reliable. They're able to keep the schedule. So if you may look in where the real gaps are, then they may be much more targeted. Then you can look at the options and say, okay, we expand the franchise shipping, and no need to have a logistics company more. Or there is a clear need for a logistics company. The case for a logistics company under ICSIA now, me no get them a clear case for it from this discussion. Yes, we all know the need is great. We're a maritime economy country, but there are some options, tools to respond to there that we're not sure how they were assessed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader of Opposition. That, in terms of, I think the need for a bit more harmonizing, with, especially also with the franchise shipping, but the whole idea or the rationale behind the policy to work mainly with SEMA and also other areas that also forestry that Bahami help in terms of, as I mentioned during my debate law budget, to connect the rural people, and so that I mean the demand and the need am low there, and something that probably the franchise shipping at the moment, the demand for government support to him, and I think is this sort of helping in terms of the policy that the government wants to implement and through the SOE. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This follow policy intention, like Leader of Opposition and telling me, you must look good long him. I think you may not jump long him. Shipping is cutthroat industry. You money already good, you sink here. But I leave that to you. We like go along another page more, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please. Which page?
Hey, page 47. Law PAC report. You mean law page what here?
Maybe you pin us on. We start with your page 47, please.
Which page?
Your page 47.
You any page? Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Name is Chairman lawyer. This fella point where PAC hemi raising law cash flow here. Point where PAC hemi raising law cash flow here. Na mi little bit mi worry too much lehem. Mi talem law statement blow me ya. Longo ogot sani also mi para supporting budget. But the fear blow me now this one. Him because everything you may finish him normal at the same time too. Statement and stay there. The committee was advised, ministry now advised, that based on a projected annual expenditure of 6 billion requires approximately 500 million per month in inflows. Dr. Kolohia, hemi signal emosem, baimi garen problem longo cash flow ya. So me like maybe me stay a little bit assuring committee normal that next year by different yeah, from this year and last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair of House Committee and MP for small money. Yes, that's a challenge that we face, especially in terms of implementing the budget and especially the cash flow. But I think the policy that we're working to improve on this now for Ankarem now, our fiscal stability, and that we also work to sort of by begin next year to try to work especially to secure domestic borrowing because we experience that sometimes funding here you may take him but then come towards end of year now or even, and so the idea to improve on that is we also work to sort of support. Already we start that process to talk to socializing the World Bank guarantee with the commercial banks, and so idea of by starting the year we sort of securing some of the cash reserve for start implementing the budget. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lo before ya, one where we want to dream ya, we issue short-term paper, government paper, treasury bills here, that whenever cushioning this kind here, make him, because revenue block government himself a drop at certain times, issue of treasury bills. Now, you use him for short-term cushioning. Me wonder whether there is such a policy in exist yet, yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair of House Committee. Yes, that's also part of the strategy that the government is also working closely with CBSI on that, and of course with, like me mentioned earlier, with the support that the World Bank is also, because I think the experience in me got him too, that even the Treasury, the CBSI people sometimes are reluctant to participate too, and even law private sector, and so now we also working to sort of individuals to participate, especially come back to government, a treasury board, and of course the support given to us through the CBSI. So yes, this strategy that we already started that process to see that we secure much more needed cash reserve begin lawyers, because that as part of that we also looking at areas that with the donor budget support to sort of coming as early, and so that's the kind of strategy that we working on to implement to finance the challenges that we face with the cash flow issues that we experience, and of course to try to anchor the fiscal stability. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Discussion on cash flow, maybe to realistically, one is when you cannot help but really look deeper into the revenue estimates and also a lot of assumptions that go inside Laham, because whether we're collecting more the revenue or no. The first here, of course, I think the total revenue, from what I'm reading from the report, I'm stabilized at 28.8% of GDP. So I guess the question there, Mr. Chairman, is there a acceptable ratio, which we're now in Kasem, because what it means there, Mr. Chairman, if there's still room, if the acceptable level is higher than 28%, there's still room for use of actually raising tax. You can actually do whatever you do more within that level of the ratio. So what's the acceptable ratio? And probably the other question is that I probably understand that there's a study on really looking at how you may come up with GDP. Is there such a study? So you may look at the inputs to the calculations of the GDP so that you may come up with a realistic level there that I'm guiding government law, how I'm raising taxes, putting additional whatever of this one. So maybe two questions at first time. Mr. Chairman, we start off with him. As I said, the discussions on the cash flow, you can't help, but you need to go back really seriously discussing the assumptions that go into the revenue estimates, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, Finance.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Member, for his choice. I think that was something that, because of the challenge we face, of course, something was happening during the years past, and the impact of cost law affecting the economy. But the strategy was to sort of stability, fiscal stability, something that we must thank him, Chair of PSC, that one. That of course, the saving or any bar grow over the years, but I think one time now something you seem go no anything left, and so from that time no more start happen come more like you may collect, continue with our expense. So that's the intention of strategy for you try for addressing the issue of cash flow and of course the fiscal stability, and that's something that we also work with external financial institutions, including World Bank and ADB on this one too, and also donor also supporting IMI in terms of their budget support for IMI quickly, and that's the intention of government to explore this sovereign wealth fund going forward for IMI source of really secure our cash, safe, more on a stable sort of helping IMI in terms of implementing government budget, and then over the years we continue to reinvest or even grow, or even in terms of the fiscal space. In fact, IMI got a very big room. Well, currently we are now at the 27% as our benchmark, and 35%. But the intention of government in terms of borrowing, especially to more focus on development infrastructure or economic infrastructure, but not to sort of borrow to finance our recurrent. And so if you look at the focus for the recurrent, it shows that by IMI improve, especially in terms of revenue, but of course the challenge IMI facing now because it's forecast for the whole year. But we also know that towards the end of year two, some of our key revenue, especially loan revenue from fisheries, have come in too. And then we try as much also to save up to like 200 million rollover. And so that's something we anticipating the Treasury probably will go beyond that. So that's a kind of comfort that will help in terms of quick implementation of the budget. But of course, the challenge by having something take time for us to really address it. Thank you, Chair.
MP for Small-Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So going on from the Minister's response to the question by member for his choice, so I'm looking at or the revenue forecast for law ministry. And me looking every head here, but go up here. But two fella now, but the para will go up. Schools up 2,000% or say one fella payable by companies. I don't know him tax, I think, where him go up by $315 million on top of this year. That's the forecast. And then motor vehicles by him go up by 344 million on this year. So question below me now is what's the policy assumptions law there where some of the revenue lines here will go up significantly. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for member for Small Malaita, and of course, Chair Law House Committee for picking up that one. In fact, that's an error and should be so, but because of the printing, the term sort of I'm a little bit opposite to follow figures here. There should be like that one law on you became law on top here should come down, and this one has a hem to do with. But in terms of policy, like Minister Law MID Hemi, Talem Elia Law and Fal respond no some question was raised during the past week here. We are looking to also increase some charges, especially and also enforcing because the idea to sort of improve the road, and of course this fella board by Hemi authority that by him look after this one. The idea now for while government supporting it, they are also looking to increase this in terms of revenue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for his
Chairman, maybe the ministers have explained come good more. This is an increase of cost of 50%, but not really. It's a mistake. If there's a mistake, how am I affecting what the figures here? So telling come so that me comfortable that one. I'm not affecting more the totals in also because this is an increase of about $315 million as one. The member for Small Malaita, chair of House Committee, and it's payable by companies and other entities. There's two rates of tax. Charge law when it comes to income tax. There's individual rate and there is corporate rate. Corporate rate, I think there's one called different for foreign companies and another one for locally established companies. So low corporate tax. So these other entities here now, what are they? What are the entities with the same tax at corporate rate? So now that we find out there was a mistake that one, so Mr. Chairman, you want to be clear how I'm affecting my budget, believe me.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, member for each question. As in terms of strategy for revenue projects in here, the intention mainly to enforcing tax compliances, and that's something that we see once we do by improve on the tax revenue. But little bit the error law there here, hemi little bit also mitalem iliba the goods tax now should like increase, and then others, yeah, which is that's come back as well to the strategy and the policy that to sort of enforcing our tax compliances, and also help to improve the process of how we collect our revenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, a question very simple. There's a mistake here, so how does it affect the? We'll be voting this head. I'm showing very clear that the mistakes am not affecting the total by me voting. So maybe I'm a mistake, but there was 670 million. I'm wrong. It should not be there. What figure now supposed to be there? So we go into detail more.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you. Yes, the figures errors here, but I'm not affecting the total figures and also the bill. So because of how the printing became up, and that's some of the areas that also by appeal or other code within the budget by Sampala Ministry, probably by OSM too. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, me disappointed that the budget team have actually promised the committee to make the changes long to Valaya. The numbers are affected now withholding tax and motor vehicle license. I'm not aware the area. So 360 million should go on withholding tax, 179 should come down. So I think it could have been an oversight number or part of budget number when they did the printing, they didn't do the correction. So, but it makes a very significant point here because this brick here, I'm telling them, but it did not change the final revenue forecast there. And still remain the same number. Say just on the risk that have been identified by the Public Accounts Committee, the actual fiscal envelope. And I think the option that we have to seriously consider next year now is where do we pull from to be able to fill the basket. I think MP4 is Choishole made a good point about, there need to be, I think there is currently a work done by statistics to restructure the foundation law, calculation of the determination law, GDP. So if they expand the GDP, then we will have better space more, I must say, because it hasn't been revisited for quite some time. So I think, we should recommend that ministers should put some work to actually look at the structural foundation, how now the GDP have been calculated ever since, Kasem this time, so that it gives us a little bit of space more, because the challenge that we have put to ourselves for accelerating, this whole process, we turn out to be very modest about, how we are going to approach it next year, but, we are talking about budget here, resourcing the budget, So I think let's go full speed. Suppose you may go slow next year, it will not happen in 2027, So you must go full speed now. So I think let's work on all options to be able to make resources available for you. And we would want to hear from you, Minister, how that one time happen. What are you carrying forward to next year? And what is going to be the kind of spending cover in terms of by month here? Suppose you say you talk about 3 months spending cover, blow budget, you forget it. You start up bar of annoying thing. But say, I think the most important thing now is this space that the World Bank is giving to us. I'm not like asking question. What is that? Is it a direct guarantee from the World Bank? Then it would be a real big change the policy of the World Bank now. Or is it a money that we are earning from them by way of a special drawing rights, where he come Yumi, or is it a structural adjustment program? But you may turn him into some kind of a guarantee for help support the budget. Can you explain to the House what is actually the nature of that funding that then come from the World Bank? Or is it a program loan where he come in So that, because in the end, whatever that you be taken from World Bank, it won't be a grant here. It has to be a concessional loan anyway. So bye-bye. No matter you may use him that money for cushion him na guarantee for internal borrowing, but him still borrow it, yeah. Then by you may invite him further borrowing inside the country, I must say. So there's always a all happening, you know, Lord will assure there, name borrowing here, debt financing here, I'm always guarantee any kind of pin lo him, I must say. So you explain him come number what now, that particular one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair of PAC, for that important question and, of course, observation. And come back to earlier comment by the Chair of PAC. I think something that because of like discussing earlier that we start low morning, because some of the issues sometimes questioning lawyer to do with the error printing the more or system picking, but that's not up the bill. But in terms of assurance law house, I think in fact we anticipate much more area of revenue collection improvement. Of course, as you noted from this year, in fact we exceed with customs and inland revenue, we exceed the targets, and so that's some of the areas that we also anticipating that Goldridge will be paying because of now the agreement that the government got with Goldridge and last year, and they also paying their tax due. So that's some of the wider collection in terms of revenue. Coming back to the World Bank guarantee, having a kind of support given to time in marketing bond, because I think that the confidence of banks, especially commercial banks in the past, were reluctant for participate low bond market block government, and so that mainly that grant, purely World Bank grant now for sort of giving the assurance to the banks for that, so that not participate for low treasury bond. I think the other thing we also doing, we will reduce him to from 1 million and we come down 100,000 in terms of allow individuals or companies for some participate too. Last time we big too much, and we also start them now participation law government bond. I think something we encourage him, especially Yuvala, and Yuvala got him something for participate law that one for helping me in terms of negotiation law rates and good in terms of more than 4%, or even depend on how you participate more than rates by himself. But to answer the question, that is a grant that sort of cover the or give confidence to commercial banks so that they can participate law government treasury bond market. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member for Small Malay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, this will short-term paper where Minister Yurta Talem Kamia. I'm good one, but all the institutions where all the should participate here, all the reluctant or semi-Talem, no matter you may make him go casting was where, all the man were garam selling or send over there, barahat na, I won't participate now. But on the broad question long or some broad name revenue base and make them also now good, easy for collecting me like Save, where we are in terms of the implementation and law this sort of VAT legislation here. We may where no you may cancel this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair Law, House Committee. You are a powerful chairman, and me and today you say you are useless. No more you tabu blow me, but a powerful chairman. You. Yes, already the VAT it should be tabled. In fact, the timing should be for this year's sitting, but because of the process you may take care of, the sitting now mainly for appropriation bill. But we hope, especially once bills may first in process plan early next week, we already putung kamlo parliament. So I think should the table early next year. But already the process from government have completed, and already we submitted through the process block AG Chamber for Kamlo Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Chairman, PAC.
Thank you, sir. Sir, me come back normal, so a little bit small opening that World Bank can give him come for help support him now. Was a magnet for drawing water financial institutions to buy into our government securities market here. If it is a grant by what na amount here? What amount na you look like? 10 billion or somewhere half billion here? Or because of 10 billion, him grant, it'll throw no more for film up no more. This one make him start him next year. Yeah, nice right now. I must say, because me, titing blow me, no matter how much you it will try for pupulum come with financial institution. To follow financial, intermediaries inside here, yeah, by heart for it will convince him about that because they are floated law, stock market outside too here. Time would look come law, Solomon Islands, no even garim stock market, yeah, or money by variety. I must say, me tell him come no more, buy it all find him. If it is $1 billion, I think best. Talim World Bank to come no more, make me feel in no more gap here. What na amount here? No, relax out. And because you tell him grant now, so but nice too much na grant here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair of PAC. Yeah, currently it's done around 20 to 25 million US. And so probably like, really sure with the current rate now, but more than 160 million. And so, but the intention of that one, to sort of course, something that CBSI also working closely with the government to see in fact, what you mentioned earlier, that's the kind of what also Mimigara with that commercial banks here that are really reluctant for some supporting government in terms of the bond market. But it's their own decision, which is they operate level 2. But the value, 20 to 25 million now, low US now, the World Bank guarantee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, the proceedings of the committee is now interrupted, and I'll suspend the committee's meeting until for the lunch break, and we'll resume at 2 o'clock this afternoon.